Hey guys, okay, what are we going to do today? Today I'm going to make a tier list of the best Legend of Zelda games. And there's a reason for this. This is because the 35th anniversary it's already started, but Nintendo didn't do anything for its 35th anniversary. So, let's rank all the games from the original Legend of Zelda on the NES to now Breath of the Wild. And this tier list is completely opinion based, so if you like another game more than me, then that's cool. Okay, before we start, we have to make some rules because we have 5 categories from S to D, and we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 games. Okay, games I didn't play, I'm going to put straight up in D tier, alright? Because I can't judge them, and let's say D is for didn't play the game. So let's do that first. So the game I didn't play was Phantom Hourglass, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and let's see, I guess that's about it. So without further ado, let's start this list from the bottom to the top. So the first game is The Legend of Zelda, the original one. I've played this game way back. It's way too long for me to remember, but I always hated hated it because it was so difficult to find out what you did. As a child, it has a certain kind of difficulty. But yeah, graphics wise, it didn't age well, so I have to put it in, I guess, C tier. Okay, next one is The Adventure of Link. Now this one I really despised when I was young because it has this overworld of when you walk a few steps, monsters just come out of nowhere and you have to go do a whole sequence of attacking those monsters or killing or getting to the end screen. So that wasn't very fun. And not to mention the enemies were very annoying. So I have to put this at a low C tier. Next up, let's see what came after that one. I think Link to the Past, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, A Link to the Past was the first one that was really good in terms of being a Legend of Zelda game because you had lots of weapons, overworld looks clean, and lots of exploration, so you can go everywhere where you wanted, but you still had to go with a order of directions. But yeah, this one was really fun. I really enjoyed it, so I'm gonna put this in B tier. Which one is next? I guess there was Link's Awakening, if I'm right. Yeah, this one is a bit of a, because the newest one that was remade for the Nintendo Switch, I really like that one. So, but the old one, I can't compare to that because it has better graphics, but graphics doesn't always mean everything. So I got to put this in, I guess, a higher B tier because this one has, been remade to a better graphic set. So I guess it's more up to date to today's standards, if you know what I mean. Now let's look at the next one. Oh shit, I forgot to put Four Swords in D tier. I didn't play that one either. I really wanted to, but I never had a Game Boy. I had a GameCube, but not a Game Boy. So let's see. Next up is, I guess, Minish Cap or Ocarina of Time. I don't know, one of those two. Why is this one in this tier list? This one is actually the same as it's a bundle of Four Swords and A Link to the Past, if I'm right, for the Game Boy Advance. I'll just put this one in low C tier. Why not? Let's put a bit higher. Let's put it at the end of C tier. All right. Next up is, let's just do Ocarina of Time because I fucking love this game. Now this one is going straight to S tier, if you know what I'm saying. No playing their games there, man. This game was so good at its time as release. It's lots of open world explorations, lots of chests, lots of gimmicks, and lots of power-ups in general. So this one gets a S. Next up is Majora's Mask. Now, I don't know what your opinion about Ocarina of Time is, but I actually really adore Majora's Mask. Even higher than Ocarina of Time, so that's why I put it higher in Ocarina of Time. Because, you know, the whole gimmick with Majora's Mask is you can explore where you want to go, but also it has Mask, so you can actually be a Goru or a Zora, which is a really cool concept. And not to mention, some glitches makes it possible to get the mask earlier, so that gives it more of an exploration vibe, but glitches shouldn't be taken into consideration. But I still found it a really cool thing that you can do. Now I think next up is Minish Cape. I don't know, don't quote me on this. Minish Cape I really enjoyed, even for a GBA game, but yeah, I think I'm going to put this on A tier because it also had lots of things like A Link to the Past had, but I think the sprites looks more cleaner in this one than A Link to the Past, and it has more of a colorful vibe than A Link to the Past. Not to mention you had a companion, you know, your own fucking your own cap is your companion, so that made it even more better in my opinion. So anyway, next up is Wind Waker, if I'm right. Wind Waker is going straight above Ocarina of Time for me, and this sounds really ridiculous, I know it, but I really enjoyed Wind Waker. Even I replayed this game so many times. Same with Majora's Mask. I've replayed that so many times, but somehow Wind Waker never gets repetitive for me. It's because the pure element of exploration, and if you ever played the randomizer, you know how good it goes with this game. I know Ocarina of Time has one and Majora's Mask, but Wind Waker really does this outstandingly. Like, you can explore everywhere you go. Like, it has this freedom element to go where you want to, you know. I know the first few hours of the games you are restricted to go to few islands, but after that you can go wherever you want. So I put it in high S tier. Also, I want to add some other rules, like I'm not going to put more than 3 games in one tier, if you know what I'm saying. Of actually 4, I think, because otherwise this will be too cramped. Yeah, I can put more than 4 games into the tier. So let's see. Next up is Spirit Tracks. I've played this game, it's not too shabby. The controls are pretty crappy if you ask me, because you had to slide to slash enemies. But the soundtrack was really good, so yeah, this one is a really odd one. Because I like the gameplay, but now not the gameplay, but I like the concept of the train, but it was executed a bit sloppy, if you know what I'm saying. So I guess I have to put this at low B tier. Alright, next up is, let's see, Twilight Princess. Oh boy, I hear many people hating on Twilight Princess, but honestly, it's pretty good. You know, not all games have to be all happy like and that kind of shit. I think Twilight Princess gives more of a dark tone to the game, you know, which is also very acceptable. But people don't like their game being this dark, and for a Zelda game I get it, but yeah, I think it was pretty good. It has lots of puzzles, also like I can almost compare it to Ocarina of Time, but this one puzzles are a bit more difficult than Ocarina of Time. I found myself being lost lots of times. And yet, Link turning into a wolf was pretty cool too, so I mean, it wasn't poorly executed like Sonic turning into a wolf, if you know what I'm saying. So Gotta put this in A tier, above Minish Cape, I think. Minish Cape, yes. Next up, I think either Skyward Sword or Link Between Worlds. I'm going for Link Between Worlds. I've played this not to completion, but I enjoyed it quite a bit for what it was. It's almost like a Link to the Past because you have Lorule in it, but you're more of a painting in this one, so it opens up lots of other gimmicks into the game. But yeah, I have to put this in, I think in high above Minish Cape again. Because I think anything of these ones beat Minish Cape. Because in this one, it had more of a freedom to do what you want than in Minish Cape. So you can explore many aspects of the game without just going to certain directions first. And then I mean in Lorule, you can get some of the paintings earlier, so yeah, it gives you more freedom. Anyway, next up is Skyward Sword. Oh boy, do I hear a lot of people complain about this game. Now, I personally found this game to be fucking amazing, alright? Even though people complain about the motion control, I think they're just hating on one aspect of the game. But story-wise and gameplay-wise, it's very, very good, if you ask me. It even compares to me for Ocarina of Time, so I'm gonna put this high above Twilight Princess, because if it wasn't for the motion controls, it would have been an S tier. Because I think the Wii U poorly executed the motion controls. But I heard it's going to get remade for the 35th anniversary or something. No, not even the 35th anniversary, just because Switch, you know. Because Nintendo didn't say anything about the 35th anniversary. So yeah, if it's going to get remade to Switch, I think this is guaranteed to be a S tier game, but for now it's just the A tier game. Not to mention it's very good soundtracks, and I enjoyed the part where all your weapons got lost, you know, and you had to find it all again in a sneaky like Metal Gear Solid way. But yeah, that leaves us with the biggest game of them all, Breath of the Wild. Now, Breath of the Wild is I think lots of people like this game, but I have a kind of doubt in it, because one, Breath of the Wild is big and has lots of exploration, but I always hated how your weapons would break all the time. They make it up with giving you lots of weapons, but it was really stupid if you ask me. Even your Master Sword broke, like dude, the Master Sword, the powerful sword ever, just breaks. Yeah, whatever, Nintendo. But for what it was, it had lots of interesting aspects, like it has lots of smaller dungeons, or you can call it temples. Those were fun to do, but some of them were really confusing. And also, if they gave the motorcycle earlier, that would have been better than just giving it at the last moment where you have nothing else to do for it. But all in all, Breath of the Wild was a pretty big game. Like, you can put 40 hours in this game and still not be done with it, so... And it has lots of gimmicks to it. You can put ice in water, you can throw bombs infinite, so that makes up for weapon breaking all the time. So I give this a solid S tier, but not better. Or yeah, better than Ocarina of Time, I would say. But it still doesn't top the amount of joy Wind Waker gives me. Because I can tell you the amount how I love the art style of Wind Waker. And Majora's Mask I love because you can become a fucking Goru and a Zora. What's not cool to love about that one? And also, I hated that it's time based, but lots of time you can just play the time slow and you have enough time to get done what you needed to do, so it's not that big of an issue. Yes, it has many complicated things, But I found that to make it a little bit more challenging in a fun but not so fun way. You know what I mean? You know what? I changed my mind. I'll put Wind Waker on the top, because that one nobody can challenge Wind Waker. That game was just too good. At least in my opinion. You can have another opinion, but I found Wind Waker to be the best game. So yeah, that's my tier list. Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, Breath of the Wild, and then Ocarina of Time. You know, I'm having doubts with Majora's Mask, because now I remember all those. Because I think nostalgia is taking in for Majora's Mask, because it had lots of restrictive parts and also specific parts at specific times, and you need to know that just by talking with people, or just I don't know how you need to find out most of these things. They were really obscure. So I gotta put Breath of the Wild higher than Majora's Mask, because yeah, Majora's Mask was pretty good, but it was very complicated at some times, because you needed all the masks to get the good ending. So yeah, alright, this is my official tier list now. Let me know if you agree. If you disagree, that's cool. I bet many people have their own favorite Zelda games, but my favorite is 100% Wind Waker. So yeah, leave a like if you agree, if you dislike if you disagree, and just share your thoughts on this tier list if you agree or not. I think Phantom Hourglass would have been... Now I hear good things about Oracle of Ages, so I think if I had to rate this one, it should have been higher than around the high C tier. And Phantom Hourglass would have been, you know, lower than that. But yeah, anyways, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to, because this video is not what I usually make on my channel. Anyway, this has been Broski. Goodbye.